If you've ever typed in Google search, "Will AI replace human jobs?" or thought it, this video is for you. My name is Miss Brown, and I want to have an honest conversation about what's actually happening in pharma right now. Not the hype, not the panic, the reality. Hands up if you've had this thought. Is AI going to replace my role? Because I have. And I can tell you almost every clinical trial professional I speak to has had it too. Whether you're in pharma, a CRO, a small biotech, or academia, this question is in the room. And it makes sense. We're watching automation move into protocol drafting, site monitoring, safety reporting. We're seeing new job postings asking for AI literacy as a baseline requirement. Restructures are happening. Efficiency targets are being set. The uncertainty is real. But here's what I want you to hold on to as we go through this. Fear without a plan is just anxiety. And I'm not here to add to your anxiety. I'm here to help you build the plan. Let's do a reality check. Because the narrative that AI is coming for your job is both true and completely wrong at the same time, depending on what version of your job we're talking about. Here's what's actually happening. AI automates tasks. It does not replace judgment. And in clinical trials, a highly regulated, patient-facing, deeply complex environment, judgment is everything. Regulatory oversight still needs human context. Relationships with sites, with sponsors, with ethics committees, those still need people. And this is the part that matters most. The person who uses AI will outperform the person who doesn't, every time. The industry is shifting away from pure execution roles towards strategy-led, data-informed, oversight-heavy ones. So the question isn't, will AI take my job? The real question is, am I adapting as fast as the industry is moving? And that's what the rest of this video will help you answer. Let me show you what this shift actually looks like in practice, because it's more tangible than you might think. In the traditional way of working, a project manager was building Excel trackers manually, writing status updates from scratch, reviewing data point by point, compiling risk registers from experience alone. Sound familiar? Now look at what the AI-enabled PM does differently. AI auto-updates your dashboards. You interpret the deviations. AI drafts the communication. You find and send. AI flags the anomalies. You decide the corrective action. AI runs predictive modeling. You apply the regulatory judgment. The output is the same. The inputs have changed. And this is the key insight I want you to take from this slide. You stay in the driver's seat. AI handles execution. You handle decisions. The role hasn't shrunk. It's been elevated. And in a moment, I'm going to show you exactly which tools are making this happen. So what does this mean for your actual day-to-day? I want to walk you through 5 tools that every clinical project manager should have on their radar. You don't need to be a data scientist. What you need is to know what each tool is best at and then use it. Here are the 5. Microsoft Copilot, embedded in the tools you already use. GPT latest version, for thinking faster and deciding better. Google Gemini, particularly strong for regulatory documents. AWS SageMaker AI, powering dashboards and automation behind the scenes. And Viva Vault AI, built directly into the regulated workflows many of you are already working in every day. I'm going to walk through each one. Stay with me. This is where it gets practical. Let's start with the one that requires the least behavior change, because it lives inside the tools you're already in. Microsoft Copilot. If you're using Word, Excel, Teams, and Outlook, and almost all of us are, Copilot is essentially a daily assistant that's already sitting in your toolkit. In Word, it can auto-draft SOPs, summaries, and memos. In Excel, you can build dashboards and flag anomalies just by typing what you need. In Teams, it summarizes meetings and pulls out action items. In Outlook, it rewrites your status updates to suit different audiences. Think about how much time you spend translating the same information for different stakeholders. Copilot can do the first draft of that in seconds. Your job becomes the edit and the judgment call, not the starting from scratch. If you're going to start with one tool today, this is the one. Next is GPT, and I want to reframe how you think about this tool, because most people are using it just as a writing assistant. It's an analytical tool for structured problem solving. You can use GPT to draft risk logs, deviation narratives, IB summaries, CAPA templates. You can use it to generate sponsor updates, site communications, even audit response letters. Here's the one I want you to try this week. Take your protocol synopsis, just copy and paste it in or attach it, and ask GPT to list the operational risks and potential mitigations for that study. What you get back is a first-pass risk register in minutes. Would you still need to review it carefully? Absolutely. But the blank page problem? Gone. Think of GPT not as a writing tool, but as a critical thinking accelerator. That's when it becomes genuinely powerful. Third on the list is Google Gemini. And the reason I'm highlighting this separately is because it does something different to GPT. Where GPT excels at generation, Gemini excels at research and synthesis. It can take lengthy regulatory documents and condense them into what you actually need to know in minutes. You can upload TMF documents and ask for a gap analysis against the reference model. If you're in the Google ecosystem already, using Docs, Sheets, Drive, Gemini integrates seamlessly. And for early-stage planning work, audit preparation, or just getting up to speed on a new study quickly, Gemini is hard to beat. Think of it as your research engine. GPT builds, Gemini digs. Both have a place in your toolkit. Now, this one is worth paying close attention to, because if you're already working in Viva Vault, you may be closer to AI enablement than you think. Viva Vault AI is being rolled out across 3 major modules. In eTMF, AI agents will auto-check TMF completeness and flag missing documents before inspection, live from December 2025. In CTMS, there's AI-assisted milestone tracking, site performance scoring, and study startup automation. And in the regulatory module, AI shortcuts can draft submission summaries, auto-tag documents, and surface compliance gaps. Roche, Novo Nordisk, and Merck are already live with this. Here's the practical question I want you to take away from this slide. Go and ask your Viva admin, are we live with Viva AI yet? Because unlike the general purpose tools, Viva AI is built directly into the regulated workflows you're already using. That makes the adoption curve much shorter. The 5th tool operates a bit differently, and you may not realize it's already shaping your work. AWS SageMaker and Bedrock is the AI infrastructure that 19 of the top 20 global pharma companies are running on. You're not going to log into SageMaker yourself, but the dashboards you use, the recruitment prediction tools, the safety signal monitoring systems, there's a very good chance they're powered by it. AstraZeneca reduced clinical data insights time by 60% using it. Pfizer saves over 16,000 scientist hours per year. Bayer has built a unified R&D data pipeline across clinical and regulatory data. The reason I'm including this is not to overwhelm you. It's the opposite. You don't need to build any of this, but knowing it exists means you can ask smarter questions. What's powering our recruitment forecast? How are our dashboards being generated? Those questions signal strategic awareness, and that's exactly the kind of project manager the industry needs right now. Let me pull this all together into something you can actually use. This is your AI-augmented clinical trial playbook, and it maps across the full life cycle. At startup, you're using AI to generate your initial risk register, run a protocol gap scan, and support milestone planning and scenario building. During maintenance, AI is extracting issues from data, suggesting CAPAs, and drafting stakeholder communications. At closeout, AI assists with TMF gap checks, CSR drafting, and synthesizing lessons learned. The pattern across every single stage is the same. AI drafts, you optimize. That's the operating model. You're not being replaced by this process. You're being positioned above it. The project manager who understands this playbook and applies it consistently is the project manager who gets recognized, promoted, and trusted with more complex programs. This is the path forward. So let's bring this to the close. AI won't replace you, but someone who has learned to use AI, and you haven't, might get that opportunity instead of you. So everything I've shared today only matters if it turns into action. And I'm going to make this as simple as possible. Step 1. Pick one tool. Just one. Copilot, ChatGPT, or Gemini, whichever feels closest to what you already do. Step 2. Use it on a real work task today. Draft one email, summarize one document, build one checklist. A real task that you were going to do anyway. Step 3. Repeat once a week for 4 weeks, and you will have built a genuine new core skill. That's it. Small steps, big shift. Because here's the truth I want to leave you with. Change in clinical trial jobs is inevitable. The good news? You watched this video, so you're already ahead. Now, go use the tool.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. It genuinely means a lot.
If this gave you even one thing you're going to act on, drop it in the comments. If you would like to see how project manager role is evolving in clinical trials, I have a short video on that. Check it out. I'd love to know which tool you're starting with. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Miss Brown, simplifying clinical trials, one video at a time.